Welcome to Spill Hood, your spot for the real stories, the wild drama, and the hidden details they don't want you to catch. Today, we're diving into a situation that many fans are calling one of the biggest self-destructive moves the rap game has ever seen. And the way this trial played out had the whole courtroom frozen in place. The opening statement kicked off with the prosecutor laying out a full timeline for the jury, breaking down the long-running tension in Jacksonville. Anyone who listens to drill knows the history between Young and Ace and Fulio's camps, but in court they spelled everything out slow and steady, claiming that Ksoo targeted Lil Buck as some kind of retaliation move.
Lil Buck and ATK are rivals. They don't like each other. They hate each other. And one of the traditions of both groups is producing rap music, drill rap, diss songs that make fun of or talk disrespectfully about members of their ops.
According to the prosecutor, this all went down a year after Ksoo's brother, Boss Goon, lost his life. They said Ksoo and his cousin Scotty were out riding around on the date that marked that loss. And that's when they allegedly spotted Lil Buck moving toward his car. The story they told made the whole room lean forward. The prosecutor claimed that when Lil Buck reached his vehicle, Ksoo jumped out and opened fire until Lil Buck hit the ground. Then they told the jury that while Lil Buck was down and injured, Ksoo stood over him and fired again to make sure the situation was fully carried out. The courtroom got tense as they described every detail. To make it even more dramatic for the jury, the prosecutor painted a harsh picture of what the scene looked like afterwards, saying Lil Buck's injuries were extremely severe, and that the impact in that parking lot showed just how intense the incident truly was. There were a lot of wild moments in Ksoo's trial, but one of the most shocking came when the lawyer brought up what Ksoo supposedly said to an opponent just moments before the whole situation with Lil Buck went down. The jury leaned in when they heard this part.
Slashing open his flesh. Hot metal ripping through his muscles. Hot metal blowing open his skull. Flesh, brain matter, even teeth were sent flying through the air.
According to the prosecutor, when Ksoo and Scotty spotted Lil Buck parking his car and heading into a building, they waited outside watching every move. While sitting there, they claimed Ksoo jumped on FaceTime with one of Lil Buck's friends and said, "We caught your boy slipping." That statement hit the courtroom hard. A few minutes later, the lawyer said Ksoo stepped out and carried out the whole act, leaving the scene in chaos. When it was the defense team's turn, they tried to make the witnesses look unreliable. They pointed out that Dominique Barner, someone who used to be close with Ksoo, and even Dominique's father, Blue, had both flipped and were speaking against him. The defense insisted the jury shouldn't trust anything they said, calling their motives questionable. But the prosecution fired back, saying Ksoo acted in broad daylight, right in front of cameras, and that he was caught with the same weapon that was connected to what happened to Lil Buck. The defense tried to argue that Ksoo's size didn't match the figure seen in the footage, but the prosecutors pulled up photos from Ksoo's own social media that matched the build of the person in the video.
Using Instagram on his phone, he contacts Raekwon Howard. Raekwon Howard, who is affiliated with Six Ball. They're ops. Tells him, got one of your boys slipping. Let him know they're getting ready to take somebody out, but doesn't say who.
The defense team opened up by trying to make the witness sound sketchy.
You're gonna hear from Barbara Buckley, and I'll tell you up front, I think you'll like her. She's feisty. No one pulls anything over her eyes. And she's gonna walk in and she's gonna honestly talk to you about that morning.
After the situation with Lil Buck, the lawyer said Ksoo jumped into a car with Scotty and Dominique Barner, and they sped off with officers right behind them. The chase ended when the car crashed, and that's when, according to prosecutors, Ksoo took off running and separated from the group in a desperate attempt to escape. Ksoo took off running through the woods, weaving through trees until he popped out in a different neighborhood, and that's when someone spotted him rushing out of the bushes while police sirens echoed from every direction. The whole chase sounded like something straight out of a movie. According to the prosecutors, Ksoo called a woman named Natalie and told her to come scoop him up. When she took the stand, her testimony hit hard because it lined up perfectly with the timeline the state was pushing. The defense tried to argue that the person seen coming out of the woods wasn't Ksoo, but Natalie didn't hesitate. She said Ksoo came out of those woods, and she's the one who picked him up that day. Her statement definitely didn't do Ksoo any favors, but she wasn't even the most damaging witness. That title went to his former associate, Dominique Barnard. Dominique admitted he helped Scotty break into a house and force a woman inside after they crashed the car. And even though he pleaded guilty and agreed to testify, he was still staring at a possible 20-year sentence. When he spoke, he confirmed that ATK was a street crew, and he said Ksoo and Scotty both represented the same set, tying all their moves together in a way the prosecutors used heavy in court.
Car approaching us, right, coming the way we were sitting.
And what was significant about the car?
It was a lady driving, holding a cell phone. She looked lost, like she was looking for something.
Dominique then broke down the connection between the diss tracks and the real situations that were unfolding in the streets. And the courtroom got tense when he started explaining how music and street issues were mixing together. According to Dominique, Lil Buck had dropped a diss track aimed at Ksoo's brother, Boss Goon, and that's what pushed Ksoo to feel like he needed to respond. Dominique even said he messaged Lil Buck after the track dropped, telling him to chill with the disrespect. But after Lil Buck kept moving how he was moving, Dominique looked up his address and even checked what kind of car he drove. Dominique said he, Ksoo, and Scotty pulled up to the apartment building where Lil Buck was staying, ready to confront him. But they didn't find him that day because Lil Buck had gone on vacation and wasn't in the city at the time. Once they heard Lil Buck was back in town, Dominique said the three of them, Ksoo, Scotty, and me, went out again looking for him. They pulled up to Lil Buck's place and sat there for hours just waiting for him to show himself.
Where did you have to go to pick Hakeem up?
Up Arlington Expressway and some apartments.
And how did you know where to go?
I believe Kareem said it, or I don't know if there was a thing on his phone with a map. That I cannot remember.
Natalie definitely didn't help Ksoo's case.
When Lil Buck finally stepped outside and drove off, they tailed him quietly so he wouldn't notice. When Lil Buck reached the shopping plaza and went inside one of the buildings, Dominique said he, Ksoo, and Scotty stayed in the car, watching and waiting for the moment he came back out. Dominique told the jury that this was the moment Ksoo jumped on FaceTime with one of their rivals and said they had caught one of their people slipping. Right after that, according to Dominique, Ksoo stepped out and chased Lil Buck down with zero hesitation. The courtroom went silent hearing that part.
Are you familiar with a local rap group called ATK?
Yes, sir.
Was Abdul Robinson Jr., Kareem, part of ATK?
Yes, sir.
What about Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Leroy Whitaker?
Yes, sir.
Thorgon Williams?
Yes, sir.
After the crash during their getaway, Dominique said he and Scotty took off running and ended up breaking into a woman's house, hoping to find new clothes so they could blend in and wait for everything to calm down. They didn't realize someone was inside the home, and when the woman walked in and told them to leave, the situation got even more chaotic. Dominique testified that he and Scotty held the woman down so she couldn't call for help, while they tried to figure out what to do next. Then Scotty made a call, and Ksoo's associate, Lou, was the one who eventually came through to pick them up and get them out of there. The whole moment sounded unreal to the jury. But the part that shocked everyone the most was when the story shifted to Ksoo's father, Blue, because Blue actually took the stand against his own son. Blue had his own legal issues and believed that testifying might help reduce his sentence, which added another layer of drama to the case. Prosecutors tried to show that what happened to Lil Buck was a response to the loss of Ksoo's brother, Bocom.
No, what does the lyric "smoking on Willie" mean?
You smoking on a dead person.
Is that a good thing?
What's a bad thing?
Was, excuse me, Abdul Robinson Jr., Kareem, aware of this song?
Yes, sir.
What about Hakeem Robinson?
Yes, sir.
Leroy Whitaker?
Yes, sir.
Were they upset over that song?
Yes, sir.
They also said Blue was present the day Bocom lost his life. According to Blue's testimony, he was driving the car when another vehicle pulled up and opened fire, and he described holding Bocom's hand while he passed away inside the vehicle. The courtroom was stunned as he relived that moment in front of everyone. Blue's other son, Abdul Robinson Jr., was also in the car the day Boss Goon lost his life, and now he's facing charges connected to the Lil Buck situation, too.
You found out where Charles McCormick lived in December of 2019. Why wasn't he killed right away?
Because he took a vacation.
Charles took a vacation?
Yeah.
His trial is set to be separate, but everyone in the courtroom believes Blue is likely going to testify in that one as well. The whole family situation had the jury locked in. On the stand, Blue told prosecutors that Lil Buck was connected to 6 Block and had issues with Ksoo and others tied to ATK. After Blue picked up Scotty and Dominique from the house they broke into, he drove them behind a Burger King so they could burn the clothes they wore during the incident. According to Dominique, they told Blue everything that had happened, and Blue tried to help them disappear before things got worse.
What happened after Hakeem jumped out of the Nissan?
Shot at him.
Shot at who?
But once Blue got arrested and started facing his own charges, everything flipped. In court, he admitted outright that Ksoo was the one who carried out the attack on Lil Buck. The jury couldn't believe a father was testifying against his own son with that level of detail. And what made it even more shocking is that this wasn't the first time Blue had taken the stand against someone close. Back in the 90s, he testified in another case and cooperated with federal investigators, even working as a confidential informant afterward. Blue had also been tied to another legal situation before this one, making his involvement even more complicated. Since Blue decided to plead guilty to being an accessory after the fact and flipped on Ksoo, he's now looking at around 20 years instead of a life sentence. Prosecutors came in stacked. They had witnesses, cooperators, and even DNA evidence tying Ksoo to the situation. But the wildest part? Ksoo made things even worse for himself because he kept exposing his own moves online after what happened to Lil Buck.
I was driving, I could, hear Willie making this guggling noise. And I hold his hand while I was driving, because I didn't want him to die, feel like he died alone.
Ksoo is also facing additional charges connected to the loss of Julio's associate Lil Bibby, and the moment he found out about that extra charge went viral instantly. Clips of his reaction have been bouncing all over social media, and people cannot believe how fast things spiraled. For years, fans joked that Ksoo couldn't stop exposing himself, and prosecutors made it clear he didn't just talk about the Lil Bibby situation. He kept hinting at the Lil Buck one too. Ksoo even dropped a track called Bang It Out, where he flashed the same piece the prosecutors say was used in the Lil Buck incident, and he posted photos showing off that same item right after the situation happened. It was like he left a trail online that the courtroom could not ignore. Then, there was the pedicure post, one of the most infamous pieces of evidence.
Person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick.
My son.
What's your son's name?
Akeem.
Ksoo went to get his toes done and wrote a caption bragging about handling business before getting his pedicure. In court, the lawyers actually read that post out loud, and the entire room reacted because the timing lined up too perfectly with what prosecutors were saying. By the time the trial wrapped up, everyone in that building knew the outcome. Ksoo and Scotty were officially done, and there was no coming back from the mountain of evidence stacked against them. After the verdict dropped, the courtroom had this heavy silence, like everyone was trying to process just how deep this whole situation really went. Prosecutors didn't just rely on witness stories. They brought maps, timelines, cell tower pings, and footage that matched up almost perfectly with everything their witnesses said. Even the defense team looked drained by the end of it all. Reporters outside the courthouse said they'd never seen a case flip so fast once the evidence started dropping.
I have a warrant for your arrest.
We have a warrant for your arrest for murder today.
What?
Yes.
For?
You want your lawyer, so I can't tell you no more, but you'll be in trouble.
What the hell?
Every time the defense tried to push back, the prosecutors came right back with another file, another screenshot, or another piece of info that kept sealing Ksoo's fate. It felt like every move he made in the streets had a digital footprint waiting to be exposed. Meanwhile, Scotty tried to stay calm through the whole trial, but witnesses kept tying him to the getaway, the car chase, and even the aftermath at the house they broke into. Once Dominique and Blue both took the stand, Scotty's chances were basically gone, and the jury could see how everything connected.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done. Then go get my toes done. Those are his words that he attached to a video.
When sentencing day came, the judge made it clear the court wasn't playing around. They pointed out the planning, the chase, the attempt to hide evidence, and all the reckless decisions that followed. The whole courtroom felt the weight of it as the judge listed everything out with no hesitation. If you want any adjustments, more details, more drama, more legal focus, or a smoother transition into your ending, just tell me. The defense didn't have much left to push back with, and once all the evidence was laid out, the courtroom already knew where this was heading. Ksoo and Scotty both got hit with the conviction, and Ksoo's reaction exploded across social media within minutes. Right after everything wrapped up, Ksoo posted a story on Instagram claiming the jury was already against him because, in his words, they were all the same background as the judge. That post had the internet arguing nonstop. At this point, everyone could see how badly the situation had collapsed around him. Ksoo got turned on by nearly everyone who was part of the case, and there was almost no realistic way he was walking out of that courthouse free. Investigators had DNA, video clips, multiple witnesses, and even Ksoo's own online posts all lining up with the story prosecutors told. Now he's staring at a life sentence, and things only look tougher from here. What makes it even heavier is that Ksoo still has to face the charges connected to Lil Bibby. So even if he somehow appealed the Lil Buck conviction and won, he could still end up with another life sentence in the next case. And the way prosecutors described it, Ksoo shared way more online about the Bibby situation than he ever did about Lil Buck, which only adds more pressure to what's coming next. Ksoo is scheduled to receive his final sentence for the Lil Buck case in September 2025. And after that, he's rolling straight into a brand new trial with even more serious accusations waiting for him. This story is far from over, and the next chapter might be even more intense. If you're locked into these breakdowns, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.